Change radio. Change radio. Change radio. Change radio. Change radio. Anoda kunga news dzemandoro kwati derera. Change radio. Anoda kunga nyaya dzeshanduko derera. Change radio. Pechidiki indiyo senyuro yenyu. Change radio. Derera, derera. Change radio. Change radio.
Is the song playing? Are you playing the song, Estela?
Chief, sorry, Ndandiri on mute. Song ya play, ya stop. You can go ahead and open. Chief, hey. All right, blessed day to you all, our Change Radio listeners, joining us from across the globe. Some of you are joining us from our Facebook page. Some are on our YouTube page and some are on our X space. A warm welcome to you all to today's program, which is titled National Shutdown. Mnangagwa must go, and we are featuring our main speakers, Nyokayemabhunu. Most of you are familiar with him, and obviously Madzibaba Eshanduko, but we do have a host of other speakers who are here. And let me just start by handing over to Chief so that he can greet our viewers and listeners and open our live. Chief Kanamuripo, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Estela. I hope everyone can hear me. Some of doing what we are doing here. So sometimes we do these programs while we are also trying to work. I hope, Estela, I'm audible.
You are audible, Chief.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Yes, so this is a Change Radio live production, and we welcome everyone who is here. We welcome our listeners from across the world. I know there are some that are watching on YouTube, or some are on Facebook, and we do have over 140,000 followers. And I know there are some that are joining from TikTok. And obviously, we also have a multitude listening or joining us from X, formerly Twitter. And of course, the subject of discussion is a topical issue, a topical subject that everyone is talking about, the shutdown, the 2030 mantra, and everything that has been flooding and everything that has been flooding our news. And as Change Radio, we are always in touch with the masses, in touch with the people. We bring you live all these programs so that you get informed. And at the end of the day, you'll be able to make informed choices. Change Radio is your radio station. It's a citizen-driven radio station, the only citizen-driven radio station funded by the citizens, made by the citizens, supported by the citizens. If you want today to volunteer, if you have a video, if you have anything that you want to publish, an article, we have everything for you. All you need is for you to come. You don't have to pay anything. So if you want to be part of our Change Radio volunteers, get in touch. Or if you just want to support Change Radio financially, we also have links where you can support Change Radio. We said we are a citizen-driven radio station, and that's the reason why we have these citizens here. When citizens come to us and ask to have a discussion or to get a message across to the people of Zimbabwe, we are always there, and we'll make sure that we provide that platform. So I will begin by making a disclaimer here. Not that I expect anything. We'll make a disclaimer that Exchange Radio, whatever is going to be discussed here, the sentiments that are going to be expressed here, and the ideas that are going to be heard here are not the make or the manipulation or the creation of Change Radio. They belong to the people, the group that we have here today. We are here to moderate. We are here to ask questions. We are here to open the road for all the citizens that are out there so that they hear what other citizens are doing, what other citizens are thinking about the situation that we have in our country. Please feel free to ask questions. You can text on any of the channels that you are watching from. If you want to join here, we'll make it possible for you. And if you're on X, you want to say something, I'm sure we have someone who can bring you up there so that we can have a conversation. But of course, before we start, I should ask everyone who is listening, who is watching, including the ones that we have here, please share this video with as many people as possible. Share it in your groups, share it on WhatsApp or on Facebook, so that we can have a discussion, a good discussion as Zimbabweans. So, gentlemen and ladies, welcome to the program. Let's get started. Madzibaba Eshanduko will be here or is already here. And we have the prominent Nyokayemabhunu, and we also have other notable figures that are here. You hear them. Some of you will shock you because they have been in this struggle for the longest time. I'm talking here of people like Senator Komiji, who is here with us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hand over to your first speaker, whom I understand is Madzibaba Eshanduko. Munobopinda mukwazisa vanhu Madzibaba Eshanduko. A lot of people have a lot of respect for you. They admire the work that you do.
Sadly, Madzibaba Eshanduko hasn't been able to come back in yet, but I'm sure he will come back in. That's Mukombi, so he will be coming back in.
Okay. Toenda kuna comrade Nyokayemabhunu kwazisa vanhu, sanganai nevanhu, mongotaura a few welcome remarks, and then we move on to others. When you're not speaking, you can mute so that we can be able to communicate. Okay, yeah. Senator Komichi, you can go ahead and greet our viewers and listeners.
Senator Komichi.
Okay. Vari kutaura vacho ibvai mangopinda mozviintroducer motaura, give us a brief of your group as well, so that people can know who you are and what you are for.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Madzibaba.
Okay, it's blessing. Yes.
Vateereri vese
Please
vari
go ahead.
paplatform panapa ndinokugamuchirai. Ndinotenda zvikuru kuva pano. Vari vatitungamirire program yatiri kuita pano ibudirire.
All right. Thank you very much. Please go ahead. Next one.
Yes. Revolutionary greetings to all. Revolutionary greetings to all viewers and all listeners. I'm Blessing Chikunya. Thank you so much for Chief Sose for giving us the platform. Thank you so much. I give it back to you.
You can go ahead, Blessing, and introduce the others.
Yes.
They can also speak after you have spoken.
I think on this platform I've got Comrade Nyokayemabhunu, I think Varipo. Then I've got Comrade Shekuton. Then I've got Senator Morgan Komichi. Then I've got the other ones. I'm not seeing the names, but I'll just have
Is
to.
it me where it's breaking, Estella, or he is breaking?
Okay.
It might be you, Chief.
All right. So I think what I can do is, so those who are coming in, they can just quickly introduce themselves, then so that you can move on. So I think because of our issue of time, thank you so much. I think that time for me to start, since people are having problems in trying to connect and trying to get in, but however, it doesn't stop us from reaching us to where we are going. So basically, our organization is called Zimbabwe. So our forum is an independent group that is composed of different people, different organs, which composed of technocrats, constitutionalists, and nationalists, where ideas and views of particular issues are being exchanged. So the idea is, our mandate of our organization is to come up with citizen-driven initiatives which acts as the roadmap or a blueprint which forms a transitional document or a transitional framework which will give the government an idea on how to run a certain institution or certain institutions. However, this transitional document or this transitional setup is going to be an inclusive setup where all stakeholders are being. So our forum is there to set a benchmark. So this benchmark is there to help the issue of governments, where as far as concerned. So it helps us to go through a constructive process where a thorough consultation of all stakeholders is done. So where we need to extract all information to build up this transitional pack. So, however, only to mention just a few stakeholders, I think we've got armed technocrats, we've got the civil groups, we've got different political formations, we've got student bodies, chiefs, churches, religious leaders, business, and so forth and so forth. So therefore, our main mandate is to look at issues that involves our constitution and also it also helps us to have a conversation on how we put drivers, the key drivers that that will drive our economy to prosperity. So the issues that we'll be looking at issues of devolution, we'll be looking at issues of political reformations, we'll be looking at economic reformations, we'll be looking at media reformations, social, and also other then also other aspects that we will be looking at. These are the issues of reconciliation. So, however, all this will be done after a state capture inquiry has been done, which help us to do a traceability exercise of how our resources of our country has been used or has been utilized. So therefore, when all that process has been done, and it will help us to set what we call our national development plan. So other countries, they've got a 5-year plan. Other countries, they've got a 10-year plan. Others, they've got a 30-year plan. So this plan that shows us the roadmap on which aspect or which critical aspect do we need to start to develop. Then also, besides that, we are going to develop a monitoring board. So this monitoring board is there. It looks on issues of compliance, because all the reforms that we are talking about, which our government of Zimbabwe are breaking, they are enshrined in the constitution. But the problem is, what we are having is the issue of compliance, is the issue of trying to see that what is enshrined in the constitution.
Is there anyone talking?
Yes.
Yes, Senator Komichi, someone is talking.
We can't hear anyone.
So in that, it can help us
Yes,
to make
we'll
Hello?
let you know when it's your turn to speak. I think there's a technical glitch. But someone is talking. Can you hear me, Senator?
Hello?
Yes,
Yeah,
Senator. Yes, Senator. Yes. Okay. So let me just finish this point. Then I'll give it back to Senator. Oh, okay. Okay. Then after that, we'll look at individual performance, because if you see our government is not performing. So since our government is not performing, we have the mandate to say the president should step down, because the president and this cabinet are not doing anything. So these are issues that boggles our mind as individuals, as representative of other organizations. So that's what our organization
Can you hear me?
is all about, and what we do and what we are looking at. So I think maybe I can give it back to Chief Sose, since he wants to interject.
Okay, no, thank you very much. It wasn't me interjecting. It was actually Senator who cannot hear you, who could not hear you, and I'm sure he cannot hear me too. Senator, can you hear me now? Yeah, I think he is having connectivity issues. Someone can text him and tell him to drop, and then he can come back again, because when we started the program, he could hear us. So he can drop and then join again, and then we may be able to hear each other. Yeah, thank you very much for the overview, which I take it it's looking at a later stage when we are in a new Zimbabwe, or something that looks like a new Zimbabwe. Let's go on to the next speaker.
Madzibaba Eshanduko just came in, by the way.
Okay, maybe it needs time to settle down. The next person, please go ahead. If you are not speaking, please just mute. I can see Senator has come back. Senator, can you hear me now?
I think that's Madzibaba Eshanduko who just came back. Senator.
Vamwe vese vari kutya kutaura pana Madzibaba Eshanduko, makadizve bvai matongo pinda panyanga, makasimba here? Torai mukana uno kukwazisa vanhu vakateerera.
Makadiko vana veZimbabwe kumatima nenyika nevari diaspora pamusoro muri sei kwamuri ikoko.
Aiwa, kuno takanaka. Let's just get into it. Madzibaba, taurai nyaya yatafambira pano, nyaya yataunganira pano. Vanoda kunzwa kuti chii chiri kuitika kuorganization yenyu.
Yes, nyaya iripo ini yandikangofarira inhau yekuti ngakokudzosere kumashure mbichana Mukoma. Nyaya yekutanga ini yandikafarira ndeyekuti hanzi panobarwa imbwa hadzisvinure musi mumwe chete. Mbwanana hadzisvinure musi mumwe chete. Vanhu vakuona, vanhu vatinoda kuti tisapote pachinhu ichi ndo vave vamwe vairamba, but vakuonawo. So sekuona kwavakuita ini ndakuzvifarira because vabengenuka because ndo zvataivavarira tivaudza kuti imi nyika yaurayiwa, nyika yaenda kumawere, but vakuona. So tinozvifarira, saka takuvasapota kuti tibvise vanhu ava. Vanhu ava vauraya nyika zviri pachena, ende vakuzviona kuti nyika yaenda kumawere, vakuzviona kuti nyika yaparadzwa, nyika iri kubirwa. Saka isi tiri kuvasapotawo panhau yedonzvo ravainaro iroro, because ndo zvataichemerera kubva kumashure. Ndiri kunzwika.
Tiri kukunzwai Madzibaba, ko nyaya yekuti togona kunge.
Hello?
Chief
Hello?
vari kuita technical difficulties, but
Can you hear me now?
hello Madzibaba.
Yes, ndakukunzwai.
Okay, yeah, Madzibaba, I had asked the question kuti zvamuri kutaura izvi kuti tifambe nevari kufamba ko nyaya yekuitiswa hatizoitiswi here zvatakaita gore riya.
Hatidaro because izvi zvasiyana na2017 because pari kutaurwa
Madzibaba, this is for you if you can hear me.
Yes, ndiri kukunzwai.
He is answering, Chief.
Yes, ndakuchipindura Mukoma. Isusu hatisi kutarisira zvinhu zvakadaro. Isusu hatisi kutarisira zvinhu zvakadaro because isusu donzvo riripo nderekuti nyika inake. Vana veZimbabwe vanoziva munhu akahwina, vanoziva kuti ma-elections akabirwa, vanoziva zvakaitika munyika panhau yekubirwa kwakaitwa ma-elections. Saka nyika haitongeke kana haitongeke kana pakaita zvinhu zvechitsotsi, zvinhu zvakaita zvokupiwa. Hazvinakidze kuna Mwari weZimbabwe nevadzimwe muZimbabwe, hazvinakidze. Saka tiri kuti sezvo vaona vana mukoma vedu ava kuti vamwe vedu vanga tichidya navo muZaNU-PF imbavha, vanhu vauraya nyika. Ende chiri chokwadi kavazviona ndozvavari kutaura, zvataigara tichitaura isusu. Saka isusu tiri kuti ngatichivasapotai kuti vaona zvataiona zvavairambawo zviya vaakuzviona manje. That's why inini seni kwandiri ndakazvimirira ndiri kuvasapota.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes. Champion Estella, do you have any questions for Madzibaba before we move on to the next speaker?
Yes. Madzibaba, ndimi muri kushanda nehama dzedu idzi. Ndimi maybe mune idea yekuti pane ma-measures here akaiswa in place to ensure kuti 2017 doesn't repeat. Nekuti zvamataura tazvinzwa and it sounds good, but sema-citizens tingangoda kuti pane ma-measures anotipa assurance kuti zveshuwa regardless of what happens hatizotsara takabata pasi sezvatakaita last time.
Ipapo hazviiti, handisi kutarisira zvinhu zvakadaro. Because donzvo riripo nderekuti pari kudiwa kuti nyika inake. Padiwa kuti nyika, because hatingatange kurwidzana kuti ndikanhonga mari achatora chingwa chekugaro ndiani. Apa hatisati tatinhonga mari yacho. Saka patiri kuda kurwisa kuti ichi chisystem, because hatingamirire kuti munhu aende ku2030. Handipinza kuti munhu wese ari kuzvifarira zva2030 kai. Kana imi muri kuzvifarira zvokuti idi aende ku2030.
Aiwa, zve2030 handifungi kuti pane ari kuzvigamuchira.
Zvimwe izvozvo zvandiri kutosapotera izvozvo kuti handisi kuda izvozvo programu yavakaita kuindoza vanhu. Vari kutenga vanhu nemari, vari kuita zvavari kuda, vari kushungurudza vanhu, vari kutyisa vanhu. Kuda kumanikidza vanhu kuti vabvume kuti 2030 zvinoita. Izvi ndizvo zvandiri kuramba wene. Ndizvo zvandiri kutoramba, ende papa handisi kuda izvozvo. Because munhu akahwina nyika, munhu akasarudzwa nevana veZimbabwe, zvinozikanwa nemunhu wese, zvinozikanwa nenyika yese, ndiPresident Advocate Nelson Chamisa. Hakuna asingazvizivi. Munhu wese anozviziva pasi rese. Saka isisi tiri kuti tomirira here 2030. Isusu vana veZimbabwe macitizen, nyaya ndiye munhu wese. Inyaya yekuti tiri kuramba 2030. Ndo rimwe donzo riripo apa. Tiri kuramba kuenda ku2030, munhu aende ku2030. Tiri kuzviramba izvozvo. So ndiri kukurudzira vana veZimbabwe kumakona mana enyika kuti ngatirambei izvozvo, ende muri kuzvibvumawo here zvokuti munhu aende ku2030. Ndozvino zvatiri kutosapoterawo izvozvo.
Ndinovimba kuti vana veZimbabwe havasi kuzvibvuma izvozvo zve2030, asi vari kuda kuti pave nezvinoratidzawo kuti hatizowana in the same position again after zvinhu zvachinja for a moment. Tozowana tadzoka futi
inini kana 2017 akandirwadza ka. Munhu wese akarwadziwa nezvakaitika pa2017 kuti tashandiswa chinhu chakabvutwa, tirisu tashandiswa. So handisi kutarisira zvinhu zvakadaro this time.
Okay, thank you, Madzibaba. We'll come back to you. Let's move on to other speakers. Senator, are you back now?
He should be. Let me. No, I was at
who else hasn't said something?
Good evening, Zimbabwe. Good evening, everybody. My name is Sheikh Machingura. I'm also part of this new movement, which is looking at transforming the lives of our people, Zimbabwe. I'm sure you can agree with me that every household, maybe not all of them, but majority of the households in Zimbabwe, there is someone who is in the diaspora, at least one person, one family member. That shows that our families have been, dismantled, or they've been disseminated because of the poverty situation in Zimbabwe. And you can also understand that nobody wants to be in a country where everyone is being considered an enemy as long as you don't support the nonsense that comes along with the leadership, which is the current leadership, yes. So maybe first of all, I should condemn, by every means possible, the arrest and persecution of people who are voicing out for other people, and especially my journalists. So I condemn the arrest of Darabi, which has happened in the last 2 days or so. I also condemn the arrest of all those other people who were arrested and kept in prison, including an infant who was a year old or something like that. Mwana wechikoro akatadza kunyora O level because anga akavharirwa after they were arrested alongside Senator Timber and those other 70 something people who were just youths who were celebrating Youth Day. My message today is simple to Zimbabwean people. I am kindly asking all of you to wear a jacket of unity. If there was a means of us all just putting our differences aside, ZANU-PF, opposition, whoever else, just to become Zimbabweans for a minute. Because if you look at people like South African people, if they are not happy with something, they do not hesitate to go out in the streets in their numbers and protest and demonstrate. They are allowed to have a voice, to voice out things that they are not happy with. So those are some of the things we expect as Zimbabwean people to be at our disposal. So I'm urging Zimbabweans, wherever you live in the diaspora or back in Zimbabwe, let us work together as a team and fight against this corrupt regime, which is looting in front of our eyes and making lives difficult for all of us. Because if you look at it, if there is all able-bodied people who are outside Zimbabwe working, probably, I would say bottom end or dead end jobs, simply because they can't find employment, in their homeland, and most of them people have got degrees, masters or PhDs, or they are highly skilled artisans with so many skills that could be put in good use in our country. But then the system is being run like a tuck shop. I think every Zimbabwean, wherever they are, they should start thinking. Uh, we've got problems everywhere. We've got bad roads. We've got no medication, and maybe not even any beds in hospitals. If you want to go to hospital, to a private hospital, you have to fork out a lot of money, which nobody, I mean, not everyone can afford. People are having to depend on diaspora relatives who are sending money to Zimbabwe. And now there's been some taxes introduced, including taxing your chickens at home. I think all those things are unacceptable in a democratic Zimbabwe. So, in order to free our land, in order to free Zimbabwe, uh, respectfully, the person who's currently considering themselves the president should step down. If you look at all these countries with good democracies and good economies, whenever there's a problem, they sack the person at the top. For example, if there are deaths at a hospital, 3, 4, 5 deaths in a month of children, newborn babies or 1 year or below, they look into the person who is at the top, and that is the person who is to go home. So, in a similar manner, we expect the president to go if the whole country is dysfunctional. So, my plea to the Zimbabwean people is when the signal comes from Comrade Geza, please let us forget who we are, whether you run a business, you're a multi billionaire, you wear Gucci or whatever. Let us be one Zimbabwean family, go out in our numbers, and exercise our right to demonstrate against a rogue and corrupt government. Uh, we don't want certain things, for example, things have been mentioned already by my colleague Blessing, the arrest of journalists and activists, the capture of the judicial system, looting of resources, corruption at all levels, uh, and intimidating people. For example, when you speak your mind and you are against a certain idea or a certain practice, that should not warrant being an enemy of the state. Every democracy should allow people to express their feelings. We cannot all see with the same eyes or understand things in the same way. Everybody's got their own taste, everybody's got their own preferences. So, my plea is let us go out there and work together with our uh, comrades in the war veterans. I believe that this is not an internal ZANU PF matter which they are fighting amongst themselves. And I believe they're not going to use us, as some of you are suspecting will be used in the same manner that happened in 2017. I believe this time everybody is feeling the pinch because we are driving on the same roads, which are bad. We're having load shedding. We don't have running water on our taps. We are buying from the same shops, which are now closing. And sometimes there is no food or no fuel. And there are no shops that are marked for ZANU-PF only, or for MDC only, or for Triple C only. We are all enjoying and we are all suffering in the same manner. We are drinking from the same tap. We are moving on the same road. So I'm asking you kindly, Zimbabweans, let us unite this one time. Let us give it a try. Whatever comes next, we will deal with it. But a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I thank you.
Topic one of the day, the shutdown itself. We are going to want to hear whatever details can be given. Of course, we know
But
that.
thank you so much. Chief, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm speaking. Can you guys hear
Okay,
me?
Chief seems to be having
Yes.
technical problems.
Huh.
Can I address the speaker who just gave his submissions. Just the same question that I asked to Madzibaba Eshanduko. What assurance are you giving to the citizens? Could they will not experience a repeat of 2017?
Yes.
Not just to say, I'm sure it won't happen or I know it won't happen. What safeguards have been put in place?
That is a question which is a very good question, but above my pay grade to give you a clear and definite answer. What I can tell you is I've been privileged to speak to some of the people like Comrade Nyokayemabhunu and others who are working together in this thing. And I've been convinced myself that we are going to achieve this together as a team. But my colleagues who are more senior and more informed than me, the likes of Commander Chimombe and Comrade Nyokayemabhunu, will be able to give you a clear answer on that. My only
Okay,
submission
so we
is
can go
to
to Comrade
okay.
Chimombe.
Yes, good evening. Good evening. Sorry for joining you a little bit late because of some technical glitches. Yes, I would love first to greet the people of Zimbabwe who are listening to the alternative voice, which is um, the People's Radio, um, Change Radio. The issue of the guarantees of this exercise that we are all agreeing to do. I want to take back. I want to take you back in 2017. The problems that we experienced in 2017 was a gentleman discussion where reasoning Zimbabweans agreed to say, let's all work towards making sure that the former president Robert Mugabe is removed. Let us actually work together to make sure that he resigns, and that was achieved. But the problem that we erred in 2017, which most of people don't understand, is there was a gentleman talk which was not in principle. All right. So now, learning from our previous mistakes of getting excitement of what is yet to be achieved. This time around, we have all agreed with the stakeholders, which are the citizens, one, two, the political role players. The challenge that we experienced before, there was no political will, all right, which was actually coming from those guys that were actually negotiating. And I want to make this very clear that our late icon Morgan Tsvangirai made it very clear at the last minute that it seems that these guys are persuading their political gains, which is not for the people. So he said that since these guys are now showing us the other side, let us all let us discontinue with this project, and then they discontinued. So in the process of the discontinuation, that's when most of our MPs sold out. They were given and offered packages. They were offered packages. I don't want to name them, but they were given packages, and that's why you saw after former president resigned, you saw most people actually defecting. and that defection was a promise. So in this time around, we have agreed in principle, and I believe most of our leaders here, they've outlined the way forward. There is a stakeholders conference that is coming in due course, in due time, where all political role players should sit around the table. We have set the transitional manual, which have certain benchmarks that has to be agreed and signed upon as memorandum of understanding. You got to have an understanding before you start anything. So we are in agreement that let's work together in unison and and win what we and win the objective of uniting Zimbabwe and stopping this constitutional amendment. By the way, the constitutional amendment is not a party issue or a party program. An amendment of a constitution must be a concern to every Zimbabwean, because the constitution is what guides, what safeguards the citizens, and what directs where the country must go. So there is no a special person who can amend the constitution to score a certain narrative. So every Zimbabwean should understand that the amendment of the constitution, it simply means that you are giving an individual power over everything. So this must be stopped by every reasoning Zimbabwean. So I think in conclusion, I just want to say that there are certain benchmarks that we've put as the talking points from all political role players to say, let's agree that this is our way forward in principle, not in theory, but in principle. So that is the answer that I have for you. If you have got any other question or clarity, I can give you after the stakeholders conference is done. Over to you, Chief Soje.
I think because of the network, I think Senator Komich can come in.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me take this opportunity to greet you, the leaders who are on the platform, and those other leaders who are currently listening from wherever they are. And I would like to welcome you. And I do believe that this platform that we are sharing today would make an impact and bring us together as Zimbabweans and as citizens to focus on a common agenda. And the common agenda today is to see a free Zimbabwe, a democratic Zimbabwe, a Zimbabwe full of justice, fairness, and freedom, which we have been fighting for since the time of Vanambuya Nehanda, Vana Sekuru Lubengula, Vana General Tongo, Vana Ziapapa, Vana Mugen Changirai, and today we are still gathered today fighting for the same cause, which is the freedom of Zimbabwe. But however, my topic today would be centered on the value and the need of unity. There are three critical pillars of a stable organization, which I want to share with you today. Any organization, whether it's a family organization, a church, a political party, or a government, should be hinged on unity as the first pillar. Second pillar would be peace. And the third pillar, which is very, very important for the success of an organization, is the shared vision. So I'll speak to the first audience, which is the opposition fraternity in Zimbabwe. That is my first audience to talk to about unity. We have been at each other's throat for the last 7 years. That is counting from the year President Morgan Tsvangirai passed on. The opposition movement has never had peace, had never had unity, and they've never had shared vision. What we have witnessed among the opposition parties was castigating each other, undermining each other, fighting each other.
Senator, can
Hello,
I
sir.
interrupt you for a minute?
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Can we move to the subject of the day, because I don't want to be boggled by the past and things that have been happening in certain movements or in movements. If we can maybe stick to the topic, which is the national shutdown and what it means for Zimbabweans and what it means for Zimbabweans to come together, which I agree with you, to come together and make sure that there's no 2030, because either way, whether you support 2030 or not, or you say I don't want to be part of the people that are against 2030, it means you are now supporting the extension of term. If we can focus on those key areas, I think it'll be good. You can go ahead, Senator.
I'm talking unite, because the problem that is we are faced with is not a political party's problem. It is a national problem, which we are supposed to unite as members. As long as the members of the opposition are not united, this agenda will be undermined. So I'm calling upon the members of the opposition fraternity to
I think the senator has lost his signal. Um, the host, can you please help us with that?
Yeah, guys, can we just stick to what we are supposed to talk about? If we try to go back to history, it's not going to help us. Is Senator back?
It appears that he's still struggling with his signal.
He's still struggling. Okay, maybe I'll just throw a question to you, my brother, because we have said DHN Radio is a platform to educate the people. Can you just tell our listeners here what 2030 means to Zimbabweans? Because as we are speaking right now, I think you know what ZANU-PF is doing. Can you hear me?
Is that question directed to me or to Madzibaba Eshanduko?
No, it is directed to you, because I was
Okay.
saying, as we are speaking right now, ZANU-PF is busy in the rural areas. They are busy everywhere. They are spreading disinformation. They are telling the people of Zimbabwe that 2030 means something very good. They are coloring 2030 to be something glorious. They are saying 2030 means that bridge that is next to you, that is next to your school, is going to be completed. That road that was being built is going to be completed. And all these programs that we wanted to do for you, the people of Zimbabwe, are going to be completed in 2 years, something that someone failed to do in the past 10 years. So I want you to speak to the people of Zimbabwe right now and tell them what 2030 means. Because if this shutdown is going to be successful, you need to make people understand what, what will happen if the shutdown is not successful. You can go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to mix languages so that other people who may not understand English properly can understand. Uh, there is nothing new that is going to come out of the current regime, number one, because everything that they fail to do, it will not happen in the next 2 years. I've seen some disturbing videos going around social media of school children coming out of, I don't know what to call it. I can't call it a shelter, I can't call it a hut, but it was a disturbing picture to look at. And they were being given something, I don't know, I don't remember what it was. I did not watch the video twice, I just couldn't stomach it myself. And then there's another video going around of a brother, a small boy is probably 5 or 6 years old, carrying his brother to cross the river through a branch of a tree that fell over, to go to the other side. And then there's been all these floods, videos going around of floods, buses and cars being swept away because the bridges are too low. So what is it that Mnangagwa is going to bring in 2 years? Nothing. Mnangagwa was given what I would like to call the hugest chunk of a black forest cake by the people of Zimbabwe in 2017 when he came in and everybody believed in him, myself included. He also managed to fool me. And since then, things have gone downhill. And these people in the rural areas who are being offered, whether it's food or clothes or whatever, they should open their eyes because the majority of them are being moved from their lands because somebody discovered gold or discovered some precious mineral. The Chinese people are coming in and abusing our people who work for them, sometimes not paying them. I have family members who were injured during on duty working for Chinese companies, and they did not get compensated for that. So there is nothing that will happen in 2 years. It's like what he's doing to the war veterans, giving them those things he calls houses, and I don't know whether it's $200 or $2,000. I don't know the amount, the exact amount. Why is it happening now? Why does he want to carry on in power when he has failed to provide water, just drinking water coming from the tap? So what is it that he's going to bring? So my message to the people is musanyeperwe na Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa arongozvibatsira iye nevana vake nemafriends ake vari padhuze naye. Hakuna chinhu chaachaitira munhu wekuzimbabwe before aitira hama dzake nemafriends ake. We have seen the gold mafia case. We have seen zvigananda vematumbu mahomba vanofamba vachibhosta kuti ndindakachibata kuti dzvi. We have seen the gold mafia, mabags emari egold achibuda achienda. Mari iyoyo yakaenda kupi? Yakadii kubatsira vanhu kuvaka kana zvikoro, yakadii kana kuvaka kana road kumarural areas koko, yakadii kuraisa mabridge. Nyika yakaita seZimbabwe after 45 years ine mabridge ari level nenhingirigiri nerwizi zvokuti kana kukanaya mvura inokrosa kudai so inoflooda. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Saka anybody who thinks kuti Mnangagwa will bring them any change, that person anotoda kuto, I don't know, anotoda exorcism kuti shavi rakaiswa maari rekusanzwisa kana rekusaona ribude. I'm sorry to say this. We are not going to see anything progressing in Zimbabwe. My graduates are tengesa some street. mvura hamuna, zvipatara hamuna medication. Ndakaona mapictures evanhu vakaiswa macardbox seplaster, and you think that person should remain in power even for the next 2 weeks. No, in Nango, I don't know what else people need to see to understand kuti Mnangagwa is a waste of time. Mnangagwa akagarira kuti azadze homwe dzake nedzaWickneri and everybody else around him. That is why we believe kuti this new system yoda kuunzwa nema-war veterans yekuchinja kumbobvisa. Okay, fine guys. Okay, let's say we don't trust anybody at all. But should we keep suffering under the same person, the devil that we know is actually a devil? Let's try a different person. Let's try something new. Kana zvaramba tobvisa futi tochinja. Power handi power riri mumatiri muvanhu. Isusu we are tasked with the power yekuti we can say no to something. The voice of the people is the voice of God, according to him Mnangagwa, and the voice of the people is what determines democracy munyika. Saka izvi zvekuti hanzi vanhu vafunga kuti ma-war veteran apiwa ma-2000 ma-200, I don't know the exact amount, I didn't even pay attention to that. Netudzimba tokwana vachivakirwa nemabhoho. Nyika yekuti every person burukeshe ade bhoho. Guys, let's be serious. No. You cannot have a country where every person has got a generator and a solar. Every person has got a ball because there's no running water coming through the tap, and we don't even know what chemicals were dumped in the water reservoirs, lake, and animals were drinking and dying from that water. And then you find another person, and they were ruling party, fish, one fish from a bucket, and you want that person to remain as your president. Achidriver mazimota, ndakaona that big Bentley limousine presidential motorcade, and you want that person to continue leading you and say, okay, ngapedze term. Mnangagwa is already planning for the 4th term because Mnangagwa akapedza term yaMugabe, ndokupinda yake yaakabirira, ndokupinda iye zvine zvaabirira futi, and he wants to go on. No, gentlemen, no. I don't know to people who think miracles will happen, but trust me, Mwari anobatsira munhu anozvibatsira. And if people continue to believe in this nonsense, whether it's fear, because I know vanhu vezimbabwe vanotya, you're scared to speak your mind, because if you speak your mind and you disagree with somebody's nonsense, then you become an enemy. Then let's all be enemies. Jeri racho rakambokura seiko rechikurubi? Can he fit us all in that prison? Can he arrest every individual in Zimbabwe? No, he can't. So it's time for people to open their eyes. Zvenyu zvekuswera muchinyeperana kuti zvichazodii muchinopinda mumachechi kwamunoenda muchinonyeperwa nevamwe vanhu vachidotera mazita avo kuti hanzi uchazodai wozodai, muchiprichirwa prosperity gospel so that you remain blindfolded while those people are getting paid kuti tell them zvegospel kuti vasafunga zvekuprofesa. No. Gentlemen, let us. Oh.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I'm seeing we've been joined by someone else. Would you want to introduce yourself and go ahead?
Magadi, Mupare. Hey, don't play it out.
Madzibaba, could you please mute your mic?
Yeah. Ningaendera mberi nenyaya yekubatana. Can I
Let's be
proceed about
clear,
issue of unity?
ngatirege kudzokera kumashure. Mukadzokera
Sure.
kumashure pane zvamunozotaura zvinenge zvakuda kuti tipikise kana zvinoda kuti vamwe vanhu vapikise. Let's focus on what we are discussing today. The shutdown and the importance of uniting without going back. Let's just talk about what we are here for.
That's it. That's exactly because right now background pada kumobilize.
Yes.
Background pada kuti vanhu vabatwe. And vanobatika vana ava kana takabatana. Vanobatika vana ava kana tine same vision. Vanobatika vana ava kana tine rugare. Ndo zviri very important for now. Because tinogona kutaura nezvatiri kutaura nhasi zve2030. Tikasabatanidza vanhu vedu, tikasashanda as a family, tikasashanda as a unit, tinogona kuita maproblems. That's why it's really important kuti mutungamiri wherever you are, whether uri kupolitical party, whether uri kuchechi, whether uri kumadzimai kana kumayunivhesiti kana students, this is the time for us to unite. So that kana tatarisana the battle ripamberi pedu remutilation of the constitution the 2030 tinozviita tiri one, tiri united, tiri focused. Nekuti tikashanda tichidhonzerana kumativi right now tinogona kurasiswa this agenda yatinayo. So it is one of the most important things ndeyekuti whatever problems that atinawo ngatiregereranei. Let us reconcile. Let us come together. Let us take the national issue to be a common agenda that should make us work together. Let us not go back to my past. Let us not go back to my issues that ataitukana kuti hey chief akata so, hey Peter kata so. All those things zvinodzosera kumashure. If we are to face this particular issue right now, we need each other. We need everyone to be on board. Let us not be boggled by the past. I agree with you. Let's not boggled by the past. Let us not look at the animal that is ahead of us. That is being done by ED nezanu-PF kuda kuchinja constitution through parliament. Let's stop that. In the 2 years fuda kuwedzerwa that fana kudzitidzewedzerwe hatisi kuda, because right now vana veZimbabwe vatambura economy kumusha kuno haichaita. Vanhu vari kutambura, economy haisi kuoneka, zvipatara zvina kana mishonga, mabasa hakuna, vana vadiki they are spending most of the time vari drugs. Look at mavhenda ari maraini vana mai vari kutambura and hapana kana peace munyika muno. So we are calling for the unity. Everybody should come on board. Let us not point fingers at each other. That would disturb us. Muka yatiri kudzingirira inotiza kana tikafokasa panyaya yema-disunity. So I'm here to speak about the importance of unity. And I'm saying in any strategy, in any project that you need to achieve, you must be united, you must have peace in your group, and you must have a shared vision. So the shared vision is the 2030. We must all focus on the 2030 kuti aite, and we must all focus kuti economy yenyika yatirwadza zvichaita tarwadziwa. Let us all focus on that. So that as we organize and mobilize the people of Zimbabwe, let us talk with the one voice, let us speak from the same platform, let us value each other. This is the time now to, let's not go back to what we were doing the last 7 years. That is retrogressive. Tonda kuti tite come now back, tite unite, and we forge together. Takatarisana ne the animal iri ahead of us. We need to attack it, and we attack it with force, and we attack it till united, all of us. And I know everybody is very important in this agenda, and we need to work as a team right now. We need traditional leaders to be part of this. We need the whole veterans to be part of it. We need the women and the youth. We need students. We need labor. We need the diaspora. We need civil society organization. We need academias. We need business community. Everyone should be brought on board so that at least we move as a unified force. And if we do this, we'll be able even to mobilize right now, because each stakeholder in influence on Ryo. If the all veterans can influence the all veterans, if the church can influence the church, if the civil society can influence the society, if the political parties can deal with the political parties, if the academia can deal with the academia, Madzishe can deal with the traditional leaders, women and youth can deal with students, labor. When focus and we use this platform as a driver to make sure that vanhu who are in this country would be able to understand what we're trying to say. And there's a lot of work that should be done right now. We need to make sure that whenever we strike, we shall not fail. We shall not even go back, and we shall not even regret. Through unity, we can make everything we can achieve. So that was why I was driving about the value of unity. It was about mobilization.
All right.
I
Thank you so
understand.
much.
Sorry, ndibvunze kuti at the end of the day, what is it in it for the citizens? Tirikunzwa kuti 2030 hatisi kuida, topinda murodhi tosvika. What is in front of 2030 demonstration? What is there? Maybe zvataurwa ndisipo.
My brother, I think you from South Africa, I think you once touched on that. Can you reiterate that as well? I think it's an important point.
Commander Shimon.
All right. Thank you. We are setting a transitional benchmark, right? That all the political role players, the civic organizations, every Zimbabwean to sit and talk from the transitional manual, which is our talking point. So the people of Zimbabwe, what is in it for them is to drive the process. The process is not going to be driven by politicians, because we all understand that politicians at most times, they pursue their narrow political objectives, which is not in line with a shared vision, like what Senator said. So we are calling upon every stakeholder to be part and parcel to own this process. The transitional manual are benchmarks that are set.
Who should own the process, my brother? Is it the stakeholders or the citizens?
A stakeholder is a citizen. So a stakeholder, it simply means that someone who is the owner and the final sayer of the process, so becomes a stakeholder. So stakeholders are not only civic groups, but what constitutes a stakeholder is the political parties, the civic groups, the citizens, the traditional leaders, and the people with the disabilities. Those are stakeholders that will be part and parcel. So our engagement have reached out to all of them to say,
okay.
This is.
Can I ask another question? Because you said we are. Who are the we?
We simply means that it's a gathering of progressive people
Who are in that gathering?
The people are the people in the gathering. I think I've summarized it to say the civic groups are involved in the process that we are doing, and the political parties from all walks of life, they are involved in this process. So every constituency is represented. Neither it's a civic, neither it's a church, neither it's a students' movement. They are all involved. So this process is a very broader process where a shared process will come to the shared process will be the final process that will actually lead those that are coming in to implement the transitional manual.
Yeah. So you want everybody to participate. So it's very important that everybody participates. But it is also important that you give us evidence of all those meetings you are doing, so that we can buy in into that as citizens.
Sorry, I missed it because there's a
Yeah,
feedback.
there's someone with an open mic. And guys, let's all try to speak through the moderator so that we have order. There are people with open mics. Please close your mic so that the speaker can repeat your question. Yeah, you can go ahead, champion.
Yeah, I wanted to say what they are saying. Is it possible for us to see the evidence of those meetings and the dates, so that we can buy in into what you are telling us? Because once cheated, twice shy.
You can go ahead, my brother, and answer the question. If someone else also wants to come in, please just come through the moderator.
Okay. The we that I'm talking about is all these constituencies that I'm referring to. Because if I single out a specific group of people, it simply means that I'm not doing justice to everyone who's actually part and parcel of the process. But what I can say for security reasons is that it's a process that is owned by people of Zimbabwe, the citizens, from all walks of life. They are all included in the process. The process which is actually putting together a comprehensive, transformative document that will be very useful. Remember in 2017, I just want to reiterate this, there was no such process which was well thought. It was a gentleman agreement of political parties which excluded the broader community. Okay, so it was a gentleman discussion which was agreed, not in principle. So this is a process that has principles. This is a process that people own. So I think I've answered you.
Okay.
But yeah, let me just ask one more question, because we have been told a lot of things. We have never seen evidence. That's why I'm asking you, if you want the resident or if you want the citizens buy in, show us the evidence of those meetings. We met on this day, and these are the people who represent the disability. These are the people who represent the citizens. These are the people who represent so and so. These are the dates of our meetings. These are the agreements. And the citizens have brought in these demands. So if we don't see that, how should we just trust you talking?
All right. I think from the beginning, I've said that there is an organization called the Zimbabwe Transitional Forum. So a forum brings together different people with different ideologies to put together a transformative document that will help in crafting the things that are already in the constitution to be fully implemented. The broader society that I'm referring to, you remember that you are dealing with a system. If it hears that so and so was part and parcel, it simply means that you are now giving the security of people to the system. But what I can say is, with the concerns that we all have of the security of people, we are safeguarding. There is a right time where everything will be given. So I want to give you an assurance that some of the people that are here are part of the broader constituents. There are some that are not here. They also fear that if they appear, the entire process might end up, being defeated. So people have said, look, we remain where we are, but go and represent us. So they
Okay.
cannot be here, all of them, but know very well that these people that are here, they're coming from those organizations.
So are
Uh,
you the representative of that organization?
yes, I am.
Are they speaking on your behalf? Are you speaking on their behalf?
I'm speaking, what I've given you is a summary of what we've done. So there are organizations that are actually here also that are speaking to just to show the unity of purpose, just to show that this is our solidified position as a collective.
Okay.
Okay.
Baba
Thank.
Eshanduko varipo here.
Yes, is involved.
Varipo pa panel.
Yes, nditoripo.
Can you confirm what this guy is talking about?
Ya, nyahombe iripo kuuraiwa kwaitwa nyika. Ndozvarwadza kana comrade Geza zvauraya zvarwadza comrade Nyoka nevamwe macomrades nevamwe machampions varipo ipapa. Nyaya hombe ndeyekuti nyika yaenda kumaweri ndochinenzi chokwadi chimwe tingataure zvedu.
Aiwa izvozvo ndinobvumirana
Uri kutorwa
nazvo.
nevashomanana
Right,
upfumi
ladies
hwenyika
and
hunopiwa.
gentlemen, let's have order here.
Hello?
Being
Yeah.
on a space, we speak through the
Network
moderator.
yacho iri kuita
I've allowed you
ichibreka kwandisa.
to speak, but let's give each other a chance. There are about 6
Network.
people here. Let's speak through the moderator. I think we
Network.
have order if
Hello?
we do it that way. But Madzibaba, you can go ahead and answer the question. Madzibaba pindura yenyu mubvunzo wabvunzo. Madzibaba, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Okay.
hear you.
Madzibaba mama pedzere kupindura mubvunzo. Okay, Dr. Madzibaba, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. We want to give as much information to the people so that they know what's going on. If they are hook-winged, they will know. If everything that we are doing is genuine, they will also know and they'll be able to make informed choices. So I want us to circle back on an issue that one of you raised, the issue of a stakeholders conference. Can you give more information on the stakeholders conference? What does it entail? How are the citizens going to be represented? Is it going to be a conference for the powers that be, the political leaders and the civic society and all the other organizations that we have talked about? Where does the citizen fit in that stakeholders conference?
Are you asking? Are you directing that to me or to Mr. Chikunya there?
I think it was Mr. Chikwinya who talked about that, but any one of you who has information on the stakeholders conference can go ahead so that we give people information so that they understand what it is all about, and they also understand what the role of the citizens will be, and whether the citizens will be represented in that platform.
All right. Thank you so much, Chief Sosi. The idea of a stakeholders conference is it's a conference where each and every constituent is being represented. Zvakafanira kuti pagungana hatingauite, but what we do is we look at the subjects in our populations, the groups that are in our population. Then we need to make sure that all the groups, they are a representative of they act as a sample which act as a representative of the entire population. So on that note, that is what will help us to come up with an agreement. So these agreements are the ones that will show us the roadmap to where we are going. So a stakeholders conference, it helps in a way that it gives each and every person, each and every constituent, a chance to actually explain what they want the country to be, or which the direction which the country wants it to go. So, however, this conference is very, very critical. So, I think it actually brings confidence to the citizens, such that everyone will feel that they've been represented. So, I think that's how this stakeholder conference. That's the purpose of the stakeholder conference.
And the general feeling on the ground is what Comrade Geza and Nyokayemabhunu and others has been doing has been crushed by Emerson Mnangagwa. We saw recently the arrest of journalists Dara, and we also saw the wife of Comrade Geza being brought to the police station, I think about 2-3 times, and Mr. Geza himself is said to be on the run. And by the way, before I ask you to come in and answer that question, Exchange Radio, we condemn in all terms the arrest of Blessed Mhlanga. Blessed Mhlanga was doing his job. He was not part of the plot. He was doing what Change Radio is doing right now, providing a platform to citizens that are expressing their democratic right. And that's all Blessed Mhlanga was doing. And now he has been incarcerated. And we condemn that. He is innocent. He should be released without even a charge. So, having said that, I'll go back to my question again. The feeling is the revolution has been crushed before it even started. What do you say to the people that are listening right now?
Okay, thank you so much on that question. What I can say to the people of Zimbabwe is, zvinonzi rwendo rwemujecha mufambira pamwe. So what I can simply say is, come here and let's reason together. Let's join hands so that we remove this tyrant. Let's join hands so that we can change and challenge the status quo. So, however, if we don't do that, we are going to a disaster. So therefore, that's why we are advocating. So therefore, that is why we are advocating for the stepping down of President Emerson Mnangagwa, because he has totally failed. He has failed dismally. Kana pari pa test, in mark, I'll give him a 0 because he didn't do anything. There's nothing that he done. I think in the whole of Africa, he's one of the failed presidents, and he doesn't have principles. He doesn't have moral fiber. So henceforth,
You have dodged the question, my brother. The question is, this general sentiment is saying the revolution has been crushed before it started.
That is why I said obstacles they may come, but however, it does not mean that it's going to stop us. My hindrances may come, but it does not mean we are going to push back. We are going to fight back. We are going to come. We are not going to stop until we win the battle. So that's all that I can say. So my citizens, let's come together, irrespective of our political difference, irrespective of our religious beliefs, irrespective of whatever backgrounds we come from. What I'm saying is, guys, let's come so that we build our country. But building our country, it starts by knowing where our error is. So it starts by correcting all the things that we have done wrong. So one of the first error that we did is by putting Mnangagwa. So we need to correct that error. We need to do it as soon as possible. So there's no time for us to wait for 2030. There's no time for us to wait for 2028. So what we are saying, enough is enough. That's why we are calling for a national shutdown, so that we shut down the whole country, so that we bring this government to book, so that we catch the Ganandas, that the so-called Ganandas or the so-called criminals. Because these people, they are busy looting our country. They're busy taking our state resources. They're busy coercing. They're busy suppressing us. And also I also speak in solidarity of Blessing Klanga. This is wrong. This is wrong. This government it's actually unacceptable for a government to do whatsoever to journalists. So that's why we're advocating people to come together so that we remove this tyrant. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm seeing Madzibaba is back and he's struggling with his network. I'm
Network.
just gonna jump over to him before he drops again. Madzibaba, the sentiment is you're being hook-winged, and that the citizens are going to be used again.
No.
Muri munhu wemustruggle, magara mustruggle. Tinokuonai kwese kwese. Are you hook-winged?
Haipapo handisi kubvumirana nazvo izvozvo. Ipapo teererai kava chief. Mari mwezuro comrade Geza naComrade Nyoka vakabuda vachitaura kuti Chabangu must be arrested because Chamisa akavhoterwa ne2 point chakuti million. Uri kupanzwa? Vachitaura vakasimba vachitaura zviri kuvarwadza kuti ivo havana kurwira nyika, kuti nyika inzi nevemumba mumwe chete, nyika ndeye vana veZimbabwe vese. Uri kupanzwisa?
Yes.
Saka point iripo iri kurwisa varume vanoda kuti nyika inake. Vana veZimbabwe vanoziva vatungamiriri vavo. Ndo nyaya hombe. Uyezve nyika yaineta kubirwa. Nozuro kana maiona Comrade Nyoka vachiposta wiki neuchivhayo achitobuda nendege kuenda nezviwanikwa neupfumi hwenyika, kubuda kuenda kunze kwenyika. Murubanzo kubira nyika. Zviri kuvarwadza. That's why vaiona kumashuro. Ivava vatakusapota, senini vandiri kusapota, ndo vaitomborambawo kuti aiwa vanogona apa vaonawo kuti izvanyanya izvi, kana kumwe kunyara kwacho hakuchaita, kumwe kutya kwacho hakuchaita, because izvi zvanyanya, nyika inoparara, nyika yaenda kumawere. Tosvika kupi vana veZimbabwe vachitambura? So havachadawo, so titadzani kuvasapota. Inini seni ndakazvimirira chief, ndiri kuvasapota 100% because vaona chokwadi kuti ZANU-PF naEmmerson Mnangagwa vauraya nyika. Ipapo handimbotyawo pataura. Because ukatasa inawo Blessed Mhlanga izvozvi mujournalist uya akapara mhosva yei ari mukati izvozvi. Inini kumazuva apera kumashuroko munezviona chief zvozve ndichirohwa ndisina kupfeka, ndakasungirwa chidhina kunhengo dzangu. Mhosva yamukaona ndichipirwa paipai ndaida kudambura mutsipo wambuya nehanda. Zvinotonyadzisa pasi rese kuti vakomana chokwadi here muZimbabwe muchitika zvinhu zvakadaro. Saka vana veZimbabwe vatsamwa kuti ngatibatanei tibvise munhu uyu, tibvise Emmerson Mnangagwa aende. Uyezve nhau ye2030 hatisi kuida. Ndo chokwadi, ndo mapoints aripo makuru apa muchief. Vanhu vamwe vashoma vachiri nekafiye. Hatisi kuda kuramba tichityisana munyika, nyika ndeyedu tese. Vana veZimbabwe vari izvozvi ukatarisana wink neuchivhayo angotambisa magaro chete anopiwa motikari. Mari yacho iri kubva kupi? MaGD6 ini ndakazviramba ini. Ini ndakatoti GD6 ndakanzi Benz. Handimurupanzwa. Ndakati tengai mapiritsi muise kuzvipatara. Nyika iri kutambura izvozvi muzvipatara muna kana parasite chairo. Zvimubhedha vanhu vari kurara masimbi. Ukaenda kuchipatara kungoendera mutemo hakuna kana chiriko. Rodhi dzakafa, mabridge akafa, hapa vanhu vari kushungurudzwa, vari kupondwa, vanhu vari kunyangariswa munyika. Vanhu takatarisa tichishungurudzwa. Mukoma zvose seni ini handitaurirwa ini zvakatoitika pandiri, makazviona ndichirohwa ndisina kupfeka. Zvichinzi kuroverwa mhosva yekuti ndasapota Nelson Chamisa. Kuri kuzviitire izvo.
Okay, Madzibaba, mirai tipinze vamwe vambo vataura. I think pane vane mubvunzo.
Yeah,
Go ahead, my wife.
what I want to say is zvese zviri kutaurwa every Zimbabwean know. But what they don't know is what is in it for the citizen after this demonstration. That question hasn't been answered.
Good.
Nekuti takambonzwa kuti izvo kana taita demonstration pachatongwa navachivengwa. Tatopuwa leader kapa. achatongwa navachivenga vapedze seseshe inonzi chini ya Mnangagwa ye2 years. Why are we being given a leader?
Good. Izvozvo seni ndakazvirambawo kana neni andokunyeperai. Takati
Saka
kana zvinhu
ipapo
isusu toda kuti titaurire vana veZimbabwe vachinzwa. Inini handide kunyenyurudza kana kuti kutenderera. Toda kutaura point pane chokwadi. Nyaya iripo ndakaibvunza, taibvunza takati comrade zvinhu zvakamira sei? Comrade Nyoka na comrade Geza vakataura vakati vana veZimbabwe vanoziva mutungamiriri wavo. Isusu vanhu toda kuti nyika inake, vana veZimbabwe toadresa vanhu. Tovabvunza toisa nyaya kuvanhu. Murupanzwa terere kana audio vachitaura vakati tunoisa nyaya iyi kuvana veZimbabwe, not kupolitical, vana veZimbabwe. Vana veZimbabwe ndovachataura.
Saka vana veZimbabwe.
Mirai Madzibaba vanyatsotsanangura vapedze,
Okay,
then
ngavatsanangure, ngavatsanangure tinzwe.
Mudokupai nguva motaura. Mukati vakasatadza kupedza hazvizoyatsoiti zvakanaka.
Alright, ngavapedze.
Right. Ipapo ndakada kupanzwisisawo futi ipapo pamubvunzo wamandipa. That's inini ndakagara ndaubvunza ndikaoneswa because inini chief inini ndinoona chokwadi ndinonyumwa. Pane chokwadi ndinonyumwa, pane makuhwa ndinonyumwa, pane ndinovharwa ndinonyumwa. Inini ndakagutsikana shuwa kuti vakomana vamakomrades aya vari kuda kuti vana nyika yeZimbabwe inake. Nyika yeZimbabwe ive nyika inedyiwa nemunhu wese mutakunanzvo. Ndozvavari kuda chete. But kana zvafamba vachaisa nyaya kuvanhu. Tomataurira vari kuita. Toita sei? Ndopane point apo chief kana mheno kana ndiri kurasika semataurira vakaita. Ndichibvunza ini. That's why I'm supporting vese ndikuva supporter. Because vaona chokwadi. Ndochimwe chokwadi chataitaura kubva kumashure. Iko zvinezvi vaona oka. Chokwadi nyika yaparara. Chokwadi vanhu vari kushungurudzwa munyika, vanhu vari kusungwa, vanhu vari kurohwa, vari kupondwa, vari kunyangaridzwa. Nyika iri kubirwa upfumi hwenyika huchiendeswa kunze. Zvese vazviona. Saka vati havachadawo. Saka vaona ka. Handi ndo vamwe vairamba. Handi ndo vamwe vacho vairamba ipava vatakusupport. So ngatichivasupporteka because vakuona.
Thank you very much, Zimbabweans that are listening all over the country, wherever you are, and whichever platform you are. Please keep sharing this video. As you are seeing here, things are heating up. We have a panel here with people that have ideas and others that also want to get more information. Citizens that are also here that have joined us that want to ask questions. And I warned these gentlemen that you're going to be asked tough questions. I don't control what citizens that are in platforms coming up from different platforms that we are airing from. I don't control what they ask. But you have a mission. You are men on a mission. You have to be prepared to answer questions from the citizens. So we'll remain calm and we'll continue to have this discussion. But in the end, we are going to discuss the shutdown itself, whatever we can discuss, because I know that we cannot put everything out there, but people would want to hear more about that. Mike, back to you. I know you have another question.
Yeah, chandanzwa ndechekuti tichaita demonstration kana yapera ndo patichazoudzwa macitizens the next thing. Is that the plan?
Any one of you gentlemen can take up that question.
Ndochokwadi ichocho.
So kana chiri chokwadi ichocho, then who is going to buy into that? Because iye zvinezvi zvese zvamataura we know, my problems edu we know, but the main issue now is tinoda kuenda kudemonstration. But what is in it for a citizen? Saka tinongoenda blindly tozoudzwa after that. Is that the plan?
Can I answer that one?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, let me explain. I think we need to be at par. The Zimbabwe Transitional Forum, right? They've started a process, all right, a process that is setting up a benchmark. This have never happened in the history of the previous 2017 process that was done. This process includes the many constituencies in it. This is a benchmark. When we talk about a benchmark, we are saying we have set all the problems that we all know. If you go to the constitution, everything that you are talking about is there. But what is not there is the will of the one who heads it. The one who is heading the system is the President Emerson Mnangagwa. Does he have the will to fully implement all these things that we're talking about, which are in the constitution? No. So all these that people are saying the same things that are in the constitution, but us coming together, all right, it simply means that we are putting every process to the people and the citizen. I am a citizen, but I'm part of the Zimbabwe Transitional Authority. Citizens, they come from different groupings to constitute a forum. So the I can tell you that the war veterans are part and parcel of this process. They couldn't be here at this platform, but they were supposed to be here. But because of the network and other things, the religious groups, I mean the religious fraternity, they were supposed to be here. We had them. We had a meeting with them. You can name every citizen grouping um, that you can think of. They are part and parcel of this process. So while least this is happening, we've got two parallel processes, right? And I think this needs to be fully explained. We've got two parallel processes. The first process is a group of concerned citizens that are mobilizing the people to go to the national shutdown. You have a process of a transitional forum, which is actually putting the said benchmarks as a talking point, where all the stakeholders will come and have their say and have their inputs, the adds and the subtraction. But all this, all this that we are saying are in the constitution. If you go to the devolution is in the constitution, but the president is not fully implementing it. So most of all these reforms that we're talking about, they are in the constitution, but there's no political will. But who is now enforcing the political will? It is the citizens coming from different beliefs, all right, putting together a social contract to say whoever is going to be asked by the people to lead, he has to work within these set benchmarks, the shared vision that Honorable Chukwu have emphasized on, as well as Honorable Commission, the rest of the panel. So these are the two parallel processes that are currently running. There's this process that I've said, and this process of mobilization. And I also want to say more that the revolution that people are actually referring to, Comrade Geza is one amongst the people who have expressed, who wants to express themselves to who wants to express their concerns to the country, but they can't. There is only one person who can go and speak on behalf of everyone. Whatever Comrade Geza speaks, it is he is actually speaking on behalf of the broader community. What he speaks, he represents me. I agree with him, but I cannot go and actually be the spokesperson of whatever that is happening. So it's the same thing to this forum. It is a forum where people are putting together a transformative manual that will be used, like what Senator Komichev said. So we are all in agreement, but some people, I mean, heroes are not born. If you hear someone saying there's a hero who was born yesterday, he's lying. Heroes are brought by the struggle, and this is the struggle that we are saying, let us stand and be counted. This is our country. If you love your country, you cannot allow all this that is happening. You cannot allow the looting that is happening. You cannot allow someone to continue disregarding the constitution. If it is a vision of 2030, a shared vision does not, does not need an individual. If it is a vision, it's a collective, it's a national vision, not an individual, not a personified vision. A vision, it simply means someone can run and someone can be substituted, but the vision remains. So in all, I'm saying citizens are involved and they're part and parcel of the process. But if you want us to pick people in the streets, people are actually going to express what they want also in the demonstration. So it simply means we are together. We are marching in unison. Thank you.
Yeah, but my question wasn't answered. Kuti isusu tinoita demonstration tozoudzwa patinopedza what is in it for us. It won't work for us. Hazvishande izvozvo. We need to know what is it in for us, the citizens. We want the demonstration, we know everything zvamataura, but what is the final product for the citizen? Final product yatoda kuziva for the citizen.
All right. I think maybe you are missing something from the explanation that I'm giving. The citizens,
I haven't missed anything. You have explained everything, but you are not telling us what is the gain for the citizen. Hapana zvatikumbowa mukutiudza kuti macitizens zvavari kuchemera leader wavanoda ndiye wavachapiwa. Hazvisi kutaurwa izvozvo.
No, it's said. People have said, the panel have said, this revolution is for the people. The people shall decide who is going to govern, who is going to lead. If it is a transitional government, who is going to lead? That particular leader will work in line with the benchmarks, the state benchmarks. Even if it is you, if we say, oh, lead, this is a transitional manual. You are going to work within time frames of a transitional manual that we have set as people to say, go and do reformation. So the people shall choose the leader.
Can you allow him to finish, Maigwazi? Please allow him to finish. We'll come back.
Ndauda kutobva zvangu, Chief. Ndachitangobvunza mubvunzo wokuti we want to see all that in a written document. Toda kuzviona zvakanyorwa pasi. All this, what they are talking about. Because we have heard and heard and heard. Hatina kumboona document yakanyorwa pasi for the citizens. Saka ndo question yandinovasiyira iyoyo. Kuti you can talk as you like, but my citizens want evidence of whatever you are talking about. Thank you for the time. Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
You can go ahead and answer the question. The guarantee, I think it's coming back to the issue of guarantees that citizens that have been beaten once, they are afraid to be beaten for the second time, if not for the third time.
Chief Social, we have been all in the trenches of the opposition for years, since 1999. And the guarantees that we have for the citizens will choose their preferable leader to lead them. But remember that to choose a leader is a process. Okay, so in that process, what we are doing is we are putting proper processes for the people to be able to choose a leader. All right, so this is the process that we are doing. We have two parallel processes: the one of mobilization and the one of putting a transitional manual. So people, if you tell them the truth of what is happening, it takes time for someone to believe, because we've gone through bruises, and in our history, people have been tortured. They no longer believe. But what we can tell our citizens today is the process that we have started. It is your process. We cannot gather, like what Honorable Chikunya have said, that we cannot all cook at the same time. Allow the cookers that are cooking on behalf of you and enjoy the meal. What is very important is all of us, we are hungry, and we We are anticipating at what time will the cooker share the meal for us, because we're all hungry. The assurance that I can give you, when a woman is pregnant, there are two processes that we all anticipate. One, to give birth, a normal birth or an operation. But in these two processes, in these two births, the child will be born. And that is the final process where people shall choose their preferred leader. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And one question that I want to throw to all of you is, I like what some of the things that you are saying, all of you. But we are here. You are right now, you are the power brokers. You are in the offices. You are discussing what you are discussing. The stakeholder conference will come. People will gather. It is not the ordinary men in the street that will gather. It is you guys. It is the bosses. It is the powers that be that will be there. What are you doing in terms of preparing the ordinary Zimbabwean? Is there any form of education that you have? As I've said before, when we started this program, ZANU-PF is busy right now. They are doing more than what we are doing. They are in the rural areas. They are selling their ideas. They are selling what they want. They are saying 2030 is very good for the people of Zimbabwe. What programs do you have to counter that disinformation that is being done by ZANU-PF? Because if we don't do that, then this may be seen just as another way of people sitting down somewhere and then agreeing to parcel positions to one another. Because it looks like people will not be caring about what is happening on the ground, what is happening in Dotito, what is happening to Mbuya in Wedza, what is happening in Mondoro. Do those people know? How are you going to make them know that 2030 is bad for them? And if a referendum is going to come, how are they going to vote? Do you know that they are going to vote yes, and because you have given them information, or they are going to vote no because Emerson Mnangagwa and his 2030 group have given them the information that they have?
Can I answer that one?
Yes, please go ahead.
So we all know the political climate in Zimbabwe doesn't allow opposition members or anybody who's not
Yeah, can I?
on the side of. Okay.
Please go ahead.
Oh, I thought the senator was going to say something. That's why I stopped.
Is he saying something? You can go ahead.
I want. Yes. I wanted to say something.
No one is speaking right now, Chief.
No, they are speaking.
Exactly. This is what. This is what we are trying to put together right now. Starting with what we have done today, we are trying to communicate to the whole world, to all people, that we need each other to mobilize. Because we already know that ZANU-PF is already structured to push for their agenda through their structures, through the whatever. They've got so many platforms which they are using to sell their agenda. And it is now us, the citizens now, we already started like being on this platform. We already started reaching out to people so that we can actually put up mechanisms so that we can actually go down to the grassroots. When I was talking about the unity, that was the reason why I was saying, let us unite, ladies and gentlemen, so that we can flood Blawa, you can flood Mashingo, we can flood Harare, we can flood Mutare, we can flood March Central, March East, March West, March South, March North. Tichita reach out to the people, educating them why you are saying no, educating them why you are saying it must go. We need this mobilization, which we will do it together. That was the point where I was bringing unity, where I was bringing a shared vision. We need to make sure that we do this together. I totally agree with you, Kuti. We need to come together and work. But I also wanted to answer the question, Kuti. Perception is that the revolution has already been crushed. To me,
I think we lost the senator.
Okay, you can go ahead and finish off from where you was. You will come back.
Yes, so he just spoke my mind. I was going to say this is the first stepping stone towards reaching out to the people and giving them an idea and an insight where we are going with this struggle. And secondly, we we know that opposition is not allowed to represent themselves in Zimbabwe. So we are going to use other
Okay, and
means.
then can you answer this question from a writer there, patient, my sister Olivier? She's saying, is it possible to have a referendum when we are fighting for NTA? So as you answer that other question, you can also answer that question.
I think Leader Chimombe is well informed to give you answers with regards to that. I'll leave that to
Okay.
Leader Chimombe.
All right. Okay.
I'll repeat the question again, sir.
The question is on the screen. Is it possible to have a referendum when we are fighting for NTA?
No. The reason being, the reason being that the transitional authority is a mechanism that can be agreed by the citizens, and once the citizens agrees to say this is what we want as the people of the country, what follows is a legislative process where it will be actually put it will be put as a motion in parliament, and then it's put to vote, and once it's put to vote, and then that can be enacted, and it becomes a government.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we have gone past the 2-hour mark, but I'm going to add another 30 minutes so that I give you guys time to round up and say your closing remarks. I'm seeing there is someone who just joined. Is it Sikajaya? Antonio?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to add a few things, and thanks for having us on your platform.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people are concerned could teachaitis were again like 2017, but I like to look at 2017 as a necessary step in democracy of our country. It moved us in the right direction. I know it doesn't seem so because things have gotten worse, but I feel it was a necessary step because it got us past the Mugabe era. So I do feel that 2017 needed to happen, even though we do feel kutitagaitis. And then I do not think Zimbabwe ichangonaga in one big step. I think there are going to be several steps that happen until we get to where we want to be. And I believe this initiative is one of such steps. Even though citizens might feel to it through again, but I feel it's another necessary step that we need to take as a country. And I also would want to ask Vanukuti, they need to think of the risk of ED staying in power and having his way. Like, I would not want to imagine a Zimbabwe like with maybe 5 or even 2 more years under this current government. And then we get a chance to choose the leader that we actually want. But it's not just going to happen kawan kungoti tangovamu period ya ED, then people have the leader that they want. It's going to take a couple of steps. But I think we need to take this step. Of course, we have to approach it with caution. The other reason we need to do this is it has to send a message to this current president, to the future presidents, that it should not be just easy to go and change a constitution and say, kuti, now we need to 4 terms or extend a term. they should approach that one with caution. But and us saying no to this current change sends a message to every president, even in the future, that you can't just come and touch this part of the constitution. I think that's all I have to say. But we also need to look at Kuti. Currently, maybe less than 5,000 people in Nyokayese. And I think it's a problem. Kuti. We always just keep quiet, whether it's or not. But I think we need to start learning to protest against the things that we're against. We can't just keep quiet and find a way around things. We need to step up and be heard. This is not what we want. We cannot just keep quiet. And I think when one's met sometimes, we can see what is happening to the country. But we need to say no to this thing. And we need to say no now. Yeah. That's what I have to contribute.
Okay. Mr. Chimombe, maybe you can talk about the legalities of all this, and then the other question that was asked, I think you addressed that. Is this how legal is this process that you are trying to do?
Okay, the process that we are putting together, it can only be legalized through the legislative mechanization, which is the parliament. You must know that in parliament, that's where laws are being made. And in parliament, that's where amendments are done. So this process, it requires the parliament. Once the people agrees, it is sent to parliament, because remember, a parliament is a legal process where you have legislators who are coming from legally constituted constituencies in parliament to work on behalf of the citizens. So a parliament can put that into law once people agree on it. So this is the modality that I understand, unless if there is a legal expert who can advise us, because we are working with legal minds, and we have also given them to thoroughly look at it, what might be the possible legal implications, what might be the outcome. They are giving us also their legal overview over this process. But a transitional authority usually that happens when the people are in disgruntlement with the manner in which the government or the head is doing. So such provisions can only be enacted through legislative laws. And if the president is recalled, because there are processes that allows the electorate to recall their president. One, if he have acted in a way that is above the constitutional laws, he can be recalled. If a president steals, he can be recalled. Anyway, if people feel that there is poor service delivery, they've got every legal right to even recall him. So what we are doing is within the confinements of the law. So the law allows us to gather. The law allows us also to put checks and balances. The law allows us also to block unnecessary personification laws, like the one that he wants to do of amending the constitution to 2030. And as such, as we have the power, we have the outright power to stop it. And that's exactly what we are doing.
Okay, gentlemen, as we prepare to round up, I just want to express some of the fears that people have, and maybe that's the reason why you would see people come to the platform and become emotional, because it comes from what you have been describing here, the suffering that we have gone through, and of course what happened in 2017. Right now we are seeing the war veterans doing what they're doing, but in the eyes of many people, what Comrade Geza and everyone else are doing is not different from what we have been trying to do as the democratic alternative. We have spoken about corruption. We have spoken about the massive looting. People in the diaspora have had demonstrations about human rights abuses that Geza was talking about. People have had demonstrations in London, demonstrations in Washington, D.C. You guys in South Africa have had demonstrations in Cape Town, in Johannesburg, even in Zimbabwe. So really, there is nothing that the war veterans have raised that has not been raised by the citizens of Zimbabwe. So, and also the general feeling that I felt from what people are writing on the comments and what Mike Gwazi, who was here, was trying to express is you guys are trying to ride on the words of the war veterans, who may even be a ploy, who may even be a diversion that has been put by Emerson Mnangagwa. Because once in a while, we see the person that is being betted for by the war veterans, General Chiwenga, cuddling with Emerson Mnangagwa. You see them walking hand in hand. You see them laughing and everything. And people will be wondering what is happening. Is this really true? Is what Comrade Gez are saying, is it going to happen? Or these people are just hook winking the citizens again? So as you do your closing remarks, if you want, you may try to answer that question, but I definitely want one of you to address that issue, because people are confused right now whether they should follow you guys or they should follow Comrade Geza. I know you say you're working together, but is this for real? And are you guys for real, or you have seen an opportunity and you're just jumping onto it?
Thank you. Let us allow Senator Komich to maybe come in as well as someone who is more senior in terms of parliament. He has been there for quite a number of seasons, and yeah, would love to hear from him, and then possibly some of our comrades as well, and possibly I'll also have my remarks, particularly on that one.
Okay, Senator
Yeah.
Komich, you have
Thank
3
you so
minutes.
much. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you so much. I'm sure the sentiments which people are putting forward are genuine, and they need attention. Those sentiments, they are emanating from what happened in 2017. Remember, people in Zimbabwe here flooded the streets of Harare in support of what was happening then. And at the end of the day, Chakazobuda's church in Chedu, and the people did not benefit anything. So the citizens actually were used for a certain group of people to benefit what they are, the benefits or the corruption which they are enjoying this time around. So the people's concerns are very genuine, and we need to make sure that we must pay attention to that. But what I'm saying right now, the 2017 debacle was not, is slightly different from what's happening now. At least this particular one, we're already discussing, we are raising those concerns. We're already talking about what happened before. And in the debates, I heard the chair Mwachimombe wachitaura kuti kune all stakeholders conference, and the stakeholders conference will come out with the resolutions, will come out with a covenant where people will be represented. The citizens are going to be represented right now. Most of the citizens are represented by political parties, and all political parties are invited to come and be part of this process. So they should represent the citizens.
But Senator, you also heard Comrade Geza saying they don't want anything to do with political parties. Also echoing the sentiments of President Chamisa, who has said he no longer believes in political party mechanisms. So, are you not contradicting the people
I'm
that you are
sure.
saying you're working with?
I'm sure the element of political parties was the big main mentality. The big main mentality was that we don't want a political party which will come and say, "Tisu tiri in charge," denigrating others. We must be equal. We must be the same. We must regard each other as equal members, so that
No,
when
no,
we then
I
come
don't
to a
think
process
that's.
illegality.
I don't think that's what Comrade Geza was saying, Senator. He was very clear that Atichada is a political party. I don't think he was saying what you're saying.
Chief, I know. Chief, I know already Wageza are to tell political parties right now. I know that. He's actually reaching out to political parties and is doing that. So he can't reach out to political parties and then turn out and say, I'll challenge my political parties. It could have been probably a slip of a tongue or some, I think he was trying to, because I know he's reaching out to many leaders. My leaders are
But Senator, you understand
in
that when you're talking of a transitional authority, you are not talking of a political party. So I don't think that it was a slip of a tongue, because if Geza is talking about a transitional authority, he's talking of he's not talking of political parties, right?
What the transitional authority which is being debated here would not be run by, let's say, by ZANU-PF. It will be run by people from various stakeholders. If a person would come from the church, would come from the labor, would come from the political party, would come from students, would come from the women to constitute the TA, that is what he was trying to say. It would be, the TA would be run by people from various stakeholders, which would then be different from, let's say, running from ZANU-PF alone. So we need each other there. So the TA that we will also be demanding as the citizens is the TA which is not necessarily a ZANU-PF one or an MDC one or a whatever, a ZAP one. It must be an NTA which is inclusive of all those different stakeholders. This is that's why people are questioning. The question that people are raising are actually genuine. And what we are getting from the people's discussion right now should be then taken to those leaders who are above us, or those on that good authority, to hear very worried in this particular area. They will not want to participate in a thing which is very suspicious. So they will need clarity, and this is what we need to get from the people right now. As we discuss these issues, we need to hear what people are saying and be able to provide the response thereafter, because it is very important that the people should be part and parcel of this process. So that at the end of the day, the people must find the benefit of it. Remember, even when we looked at the ED 2030, we said, where are the people in this thing? Atikuona vana veZimbabwe in this particular thing. Tikungoona leadership yeZANU-PF or ED nevana vake, because it was not inclusive of the people. Right now, as we discuss, we've started inclusion, we've started consultation, we've started engaging the citizens right now, and the citizens are already putting some input into this project. Citizens are being taken on board, and they're already putting cautions. Could you guys don't do what you did in 2017? If ever the leadership of this thing is going to ignore these inputs, it will be then a betrayal. But I do believe, I don't think they would want to repeat the mistake that was done in 2017. Because at the end of the day, the 2017 project was then launched, and it caused pain and suffering in Zimbabwe. So a leader who is normal would not want to repeat the mistake that has got negative outcome, negative results like what happened in 2017. But let us be cautious. I agree with you. Let us be cautious. Let us not lose the guard, because munhu anozichinja mangwana. And we are saying the covenant of the all stakeholders will be able to lock in all our fears, lock all our doubts, because on that particular day, people are going to come from various areas, and
Okay.
people will be able to contribute.
Okay. Thank you
Thank
very much. Yeah, 3 minutes, gentlemen. 3 minutes. Next.
All right. Thank you so much, Chief Social. Let me just interject. The idea of this citizen-driven initiative is we are trying to put in place the confidence in the citizens that we are actually trying to put a system in place that, because there was a question which was raised, which they were said, oh, they're going to hear about the result, to say after the demonstration has been done, that's when they're going to hear what's going to happen. So what we are saying is a stakeholder conference will be held before this process, before this demonstration is, or this demonstration is happening in the street. So this stakeholder conference is set to bring confidence, is set to bring justice to those who didn't get the justice. So I think that's what I can simply say. But in short, guys, let's not stand back. Let's hold this. Let's bring these people to book. Ngatibate zvigananda kumana. Ngatisasiye vanhu vachita play around with our country, guys. So let's be serious. Let's come together, guys. To clear all this mess. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that. Next.
I just want to say to the people of Zimbabwe, I understand you've got your doubts and reservations, and this process may not answer all the questions at the minute, but right now, our common goal is to transform our country into a better and livable country. We've got the potential of becoming a superpower of Africa because we are blessed with all the resources, the mineral resources, and we've got a vast and fertile agricultural land. For now, let us focus on removing the problem that we have. Whatever comes in future, I'm sure we'll be able to deal with it. So at the moment, let us cast our doubts aside. Let us give this process the benefit of the doubt. And for your own information, not everybody gets into or jumps onto a bandwagon because they want to benefit something. A person like myself, I'm not driven by money or riches. I'm a simple person. All I care about is everybody having enough on their plate and being comfortable and achieving their personal best. So, not everybody who is here or everybody that is behind whom we have not seen today or who is going to come in future is coming for the sake of benefiting something. We are tired of living in foreign lands. We are tired of the cold weather and the harsh living conditions. We want to come back home where there is good food and good weather. And there's no place like home. So let us all put our hands together. We want all hands on the deck in order to bring back our lovely Zimbabwe and to build it and to make it the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sure the people are listening. Yes, let's go to
Yeah.
the next.
All right. I think my contribution is us
Mr. Chimombe, you're going to be the last. There are still other people that are here that haven't spoken. I want you to
okay.
be the
All
last
right. Sure.
speaker
Okay.
because I have a question for you. Please go ahead, the gentleman that just joined. We don't want to shut you off. They are not speaking. After
Okay. Can I speak before they speak? I just want to add to say what our country actually needs is free and fair elections. Whoever wins, but it just has to be a free and fair election. And for that to happen, it requires electoral reforms. And this exercise, I feel, gives us a chance at that to implement a reform, and then people can then choose the leader that they want. I know, like I've said before, that yes, there might be a chance that Chaitis Kwafuti, but I doubt that will happen again this time. And I feel 2017 was a wasted chance to implement those electoral reforms. But this time, the reason we have this forum is so that we ensure that this time around, and we do implement those reforms through that transitional authority that comes in after this exercise. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else before we go to Mr. Chimombe? Okay. Mr. Chimombe, you can conclude and say your closing remarks and also address the major concerns of the people. I know you are just reiterating because we've spoken about this. People have come in and spoken about that. That the biggest fear that the citizens of Zimbabwe have is that it's going to be deja vu. It's going to be 2017 all over again. And the signs are there because remember when Mr. Geza started speaking, there was a time that he spoke about him wanting kumbopindo ambudjao, and then he also made sentiments like the next leader should be a war veteran, things like that. So all those words, I know after that he tried to correct that. He was now inclusive, talking about the role of our citizens. And Mr. Chimombe, that the citizens are key to this. The citizens are central to what is happening. So if you guys are going to undermine the voices that you heard here, Maigwaze, who was speaking here very emotionally, if you are going to ignore those sentiments, you'll be doing it at your own peril. Because even the war veterans themselves, they know that they cannot do anything without the citizens. You can do whatever you can. You can have meetings. You can have stakeholder platforms, meet in hotels, come here on platforms. But if the citizens of Zimbabwe are not on board, nothing is going to happen. And as I was about to say, even the war veterans, they know if we go back even to the War of Liberation, they did what they did. They were able to do what they were able to do because anamai vedu angawara anachimbwido, anamjiba, anambuya, anasekuru, even us that were young, we all played a part in the liberation of Zimbabwe. Without the people, any revolutionary, any activist is like a fish out of the water. So that is where we are again. Even in 2017, that outcome that was realized would not have been realized without the involvement of the citizens. The citizens that marched made everything possible. It cleared the way for the nonsense that we now have today. And we are to blame as citizens. And we don't want to blame ourselves again when something like that happens. So your final words is you assure the people that 2017 is not going to happen again. The war veterans are not planning to use and abuse the citizens as condoms and throw them away and then start saying chinu chedu.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chief Sose. What motivated me? One, I was persecuted, and there is no cell that you can talk of that I've never been. So for me, to be part and parcel of this process, it guarantees you, when you look at my history of where I'm coming from, I'm a political victim, all right, of the system. So the guarantees that I want to give to people is that what happened in 2017 is not going to repeat itself. The guarantees are this process is not led by a politician. This process is a citizen-driven process, which guarantees the redress of their concerns. All of us, we are very much concerned of what is happening. The administration that we thought would come and address issues have become the worst administration in our in our lifetime. So my guarantee to the people is on the process. The experiences of yesterday are the tools that we are using to put together a comprehensive plan that counters any scrupulous plan that might come from those that wants to use people for their personal gain. The second issue is the people has the power in the authority. The rulers that governs us, we give the mandate through voting, but such is not happening because we are allowing them to do. The system that is governing us is a system that amongst those that were part and parcel of the system are saying, this system that I thought I own has affected me. Now you who is outside, you are a victim of this system. Let us come together and put to a system that will work for the people, a system that no politician would tamper with, a system that will respect its citizens, that will value the vision, the shared vision of our country. The issue where the politician will come and do dictates, deciding what I eat, deciding that when I go to the hospital, there's no medication. It must come to an end. And I am asking and I'm appealing that this revolution that most people think that it is only because of uh, Comrade Geza who came open. Look, we have been engaging with these leaders for many years, trying to broker the system that is oppressive. And this system, it needs you and me to correct it. But how do you correct a system? You simply correct a system by fully participating in a process that you own. Your voice is what will decide what you want to see tomorrow. I don't want to be a generation that will continue to see Comrade Geza, who once fought as a youth and is now coming as an elder man who is supposed to be playing with his grandchildren to air the same issues and the grievances that we are talking about. Let us, as the youth, come together and the young adults come together because Joshua Nkomo once said that at some point the youth of the day will come and rescue the country. And this is exactly the same appeal that I'm coming to you, that the national shutdown is not an issue, is not a Geza thing, is not a Nyokayemabhunu thing, is not this is a process that must be owned by people. Exercise your right. You can't continue to murmur around, complaining, but you're not taking action. At least we've got people that are actually standing in the gap of everyone to say, look, we are a bit bravery to stand in the gap. We are going to lead. If we are going to be hanged, let it be. But follow us as we lead. But as we are leading your ideologies, we are leading what you have asked us to do. We cannot all be leaders at one time. Someone has to be in front of us. That is why in a classroom we have got a class monitor who reports to the school teacher. Then the school teacher reports to the headmaster. In this process, uh, citizens have got the final say. They will choose their own preferred leader. There is no one who's going to dictate. That is why we are putting a comprehensive mechanization, people-driven modalities. We, from our past experiences, this time around, the citizens have the final say. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, my brother, for that. Now it's time to thank our viewers and listeners. We still have over 1,200 people on our X platform, and I know there are hundreds others that have been watching from our various platforms on YouTube, on Facebook, and also on TikTok. Let's continue to engage. The biggest takeaway, of course, from these discussions that we'll continue to have is that we, the citizens, have the final say. But of course, before we have the final say, we as the citizens, we have work to do. We need to do our part. There is a lot of disinformation that is going on. ZANU-PF is busy where it is right now. ZANU-PF is giving people information, wrong information in the rural areas. And if all this is going to become a reality, we are going to have to educate the people. We are going to have to counter the information, the disinformation that ZANU-PF is doing right now. Before we even get to a transitional authority, we need to deal with what ZANU-PF is doing. Otherwise, we are fighting a losing battle. ZANU-PF is ahead of us. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that is the truth. ZANU-PF is doing what it is supposed to be doing. They are going into the rural areas. They are talking to people. And we are here speaking and talking and analyzing situations. But who is on the ground? Who is doing something on the ground? Who is in Wedza? Who is in Mondoro? Who is in Dotito? Who is in Uzumba Maramba Pungwe? Who is in Kariba? Let's get the information out. Let the people know what is going on. Let the people understand what 2030 means, what an extension of term for Emerson Mnangagwa means. That it means an extension of their suffering, a perpetuation of the poverty that we are seeing here every day. It means a perpetuation of the need to tell the people that the people need to have that information. Information is key. Education is key. Without information, we are not going to achieve what we want to achieve. But that's the work, the homework, the task, the call to act that we leave you with here today, that let's continue to work. Let's disseminate good information. Let's counter ZANU-PF information on 2030. And let's continue to say no to unconstitutionalism, no to anyone who wants to bastardize our constitution, no to 2030, and no to anything illegal. And as I finish, I want to again say out our solidarity as citizens and as Change Radio to Blessed Mhlanga, who is incarcerated. We know that Blessed Mhlanga did not commit any crime. Blessed Mhlanga did what Change Radio did today, provide a platform to citizens who are airing their views and who are exercising their democratic right. So we must all demand the immediate release of Blessed Mhlanga, even when it is court day. Let's fill up the courtrooms. Let us all be there. And those who cannot be there, do something online, put up a poster, say, I am Blessed Mhlanga. Let's give him all the support that he needs, because he deserves it. He has done a hell lot of work in the past 2 weeks. We cannot allow him to be persecuted the way he is being persecuted. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to my guests here. Thank you so much for giving us the information that you gave us. We appreciate you. Continue to do the work that you are doing. If you have something, please feel free to come back, and we'll give you a platform. And be prepared again to answer difficult questions from the citizens. Thank you very much. God bless you, and God bless everyone who has been watching.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you so much, Chief.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Change